Yep, we're good.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 8th, 2022 full board meeting of Manhattan Community Board 6. My name is Mark Thompson. I'm the first vice chair of CB6, and I'm chairing tonight's full board meeting in Chair Kyle Athide's absence. This meeting is called to order at 7:02 p.m. Tonight, we are joined by Secretary Matt Bondi and the Bondinis, District Manager Jesus Perez, Assistant District Manager Brendan Berth, and Community Associate Alexandra Crawford. So in a time-honored tradition, I will be setting the ground rules for the meeting. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe these ground rules. First, no one may speak until granted the floor, or the screen in this case. CB6 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you can't raise your hand through Zoom, kind of wave a lot and we'll hopefully be able to see you. The chat function should not be used for CB6 business or questions about the agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. When a member is given the floor to speak, I, as chair, will identify you and you can unmute yourself so that you can speak. We are required by New York State law to have a transcript of the meeting, so please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you wish to give remarks during the public session and have not already registered by filling out the form on the CB6 website ahead of time, you can register to speak in the public session by using the Q&A feature in the Zoom meeting and posting your name, your affiliation, and what specific topic you wish to speak about. And that needs to be done by 7:15, so you have about 10 minutes to do it. Okay, so next we're going to adopt the agenda. So the agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office, thank you as always, and was posted online and appears on the screen before you like magic. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Board members, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand through Zoom. Does anybody see anybody's hand raised in objection? I don't. I love that. Okay, great. So there's no need to second or vote on this motion unless somebody objects. So seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. Okay. And now the secretary will take attendance by roll call. Adam, can you?
It looks, I don't see Matt on at the moment.
He was there earlier in a blue check shirt.
Yeah, let me check.
Okay.
Okay, Matt is having some technological issues.
Okay.
So
I can conduct the roll if you want me to. I've done it before.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, well, that's okay with you. Sorry for the tech issues. You had on a very nice shirt earlier, so we know you're listening and can hear us.
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to conduct the roll. Please please say that you are present when I call your name. Majed Abdul Samad.
Yep, present.
Thank you. Kyle Athide cannot be with us today. Neil Barkley.
Present.
Thank you. Marty Barrett is excused tonight. Elvie Barroso.
Present.
Thank you. Matt Bondi is probably still having technical issues, so we'll.
I'm here, and I apologize. My computer died. It's those Bondino.
All right.
Um,
No problem. Do you want to continue the roll, or do you
No.
want me?
because I'm on my phone now and I don't have access to the Airtable. I'm trying to get my computer back up. And again, I'm very sorry.
No
It's okay,
problem.
Matt. We all have tech problems. No problem. Thanks.
All right, continuing the roll, and let the record show Matt Bondi is present. Claire Brennan. Claire Brennan. All right, I'm not hearing anything. We'll move on. Jim Collins. Jim Collins. Not hearing anything, so we'll move on. Jonathan Derica.
Present.
You. Stuart Desser.
Present.
Thank you. Michael Devereaux.
Present.
Thank you. B. Disman.
Present.
Thank you. Jeannie D'Onofrio. Jeannie D'Onofrio. Not hearing anything, so we'll move on. Jason Vermowitz. Jason Vermowitz. All right, thank you. Eric Goldberg.
Present.
Thank you. Adam Hartke. Adam Hartke.
Here.
All right. We got Adam, Molly Hollister. Molly Hollister.
I think she'll be joining late. I just spoke with her a little while ago. She was in
Okay.
transit.
Sadie Howard.
Present.
Thank you. Paige Judge.
Present.
Thank you. John Keller.
Present.
Thank you. Nadim Kelani cannot be with us tonight. Abigail Cruzmark.
Present.
Thank you. Sandra Leftoff.
Present.
Thank you. Jason Lippman could not be with us tonight. Anton Molnar.
Present.
Thank you. Kavitha Matthew.
Present.
Thank you. Sandy McKee.
Present.
Thank you. Rich Mintz.
Present.
Thank you. Phil Napolitano. Phil Napolitano. All right, I'm not hearing anything. Raj Nayar.
Present.
Thank you. Kevin O'Keefe.
I'm present.
Thank you. Stephen O.
Present.
Thank you. Thank you. Reshma Patel. Reshma Patel. I'm not hearing anything. Matt Roberts.
Present.
Thank you. Larry Shire.
Present.
Thank you. Ann Seligman.
Present.
Thank you. Lou Sapersky is not able to be with us tonight. Hema Shaw.
Present.
Thank you. Sandro Sherrod is not able to be with us tonight. Aisha Siddiqui. Oh, sorry.
This is Reshma Patel. I had my computer also crashed on me, so I had to log on from my phone while it crashed right as you're calling my name.
The record now shows Reshma Patel is present for the first roll call. Continuing the roll call, Aisha Siddiqui.
I'm present.
Thank you. Eddie Simon.
Present.
Thank you. Hannah Singleman.
Present.
Thank you. Susan Steinberg.
Present.
Thank you. Mark Thompson.
Present.
Thank you. Gabriel Terzo.
Present.
Thank you. Brian Van Nieuwenhoven.
Present.
Thank you. Matthew Weintraub.
Here.
Thank you. Maura Wong.
Present.
Thank you. Ronnie White.
Present.
Okay, thank you. All right, and with 38 out of 49 members present, we do have quorum.
And Jesus, also Claire, and Claire has her hand up, and
Claire,
Jim.
Adam, and Jim.
Okay, Adam, you keep bouncing around. Where are you going? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go Claire first.
Okay, I'm just saying that I'm here and
Okay.
computer issues as well.
Okay.
Right. Claire,
Claire's
you're
present.
marked as present. Thank you, Claire. Who
Jim
else is
Collins?
that?
Jim, we can see you, we can't hear you. Okay, but we know you're present. Jim Collins is here, but
Let the record show that Jim's
Okay.
video is on, but we can't hear him, so we'll put him
Okay.
present.
and Adam Hartke?
We got Adam before.
Okay, good.
His sound was a little off, but we got him.
Okay, great. Say hi to B, Adam.
All right, with 40 members out of 49 present, we still have quorum.
Very good. Thank you so much, Jesus. Okay, great. On to the next, regarding our elected and agency representative reports. I've asked all of our Kyle has asked all of our elected officials to send over their reports ahead of time so that we can compile them. You'll find all the reports that were submitted on the CB6 website. The link to the reports was disseminated ahead of time to all board members and the general public, and for your convenience can be found in the chat now, right there. Okay, thank you, Brendan. Okay, I'll now call on each of the elected officials who have RSVP'd so they can take questions from CB6 members and the public about their pre-submitted reports. Each elected official will have 1 minute to field questions. If there are no questions, we'll move on to the next elected official on our list. If an elected official has a time-sensitive matter to report on that didn't make it to their pre-submitted report, they'll have 3 minutes to do so. During this part of the meeting, we'll also hear from government agency reps who have requested to address the board tonight. I will go in order of our elected officials. I know Borough President Mark Levine is going to be here. I'm not sure if he's here yet. Brendan, I think he was going to be here in like 15, 20 minutes. So if that is the case, okay, hearing that he's not here, then I'll call on Eric Strazza from DA Alvin Bragg's office. Eric, are you here?
I'm here. How's it going, Mark? Thank you so
Great.
much. Good to see everyone. Let me just fix my camera here. So no new additions from the newsletter. I just wanted to highlight 2 events that will be open to the public. All the details are included in what I sent CB6 already. So I just wanted to say that in partnership with the NYPD's Community Affairs Bureau, we will be hosting a gun buyback in Central Harlem, which will take place on Saturday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will also be hosting our 4th annual Art of Healing event in East Harlem, engaged to provide a method of healing from gun violence trauma. So if anyone has any questions on those or wants me to elaborate, you can feel free to ask them now or reach out to me offline. I can throw my contact information in the chat if that's okay with CB6 and you.
That'd be great. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Okay, if you want to put that in chat, that's great. If anybody has offline questions they want to ask, or if anybody has any questions, let me see if I don't see any hands raised, although I'm wearing glasses, so I probably can't see very well. So it defeats the purpose. Okay, great. All right. Well, no questions. So thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it. Good to see you. We'll see you in the fall. Yeah.
Great. Thanks again.
Okay, thanks. Great. Next, we have Katie Loeb from Councilmember Carlina Rivera's office. Katie.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Just a big welcome to our newly appointed board members. I see some of you on already, and welcome to the CB6 team.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Katie. Does anybody have any questions for Katie? Claire, I see you got your hand up.
Hi, Katie. I'll make this quick. I know you're well aware of the issues in Stuyvesant Square Park. It's getting to like a dire crisis mode now. So I would just ask you to keep pushing parks on getting, annual meeting or like quarterly or whatever with them. And the most pressing issue is the watering system in the East Side Park. It's like super hot out now, and those plants have not been watered since at least April, and it's not sustainable, and we need to figure something out. So I just want that to be on the record at this meeting tonight, but we can continue the conversation offline.
Absolutely. And Claire, I want to thank you and the whole board for your advocacy on these issues. Stuyvesant Square Park is such a neighborhood gem, and it is really a shame that the Parks Department has not yet scheduled the meeting that they've promised to both of us, all of us, the neighborhood association and everything. So we're really looking forward to that. We did get some good news that the plumbers are working on the watering system. So we're hoping to have some very good news about success soon, but definitely we need to get that meeting, absolutely. And I want to make sure that CB6 is part of that as well. So thank you again for your advocacy.
Great. Thank you, Katie, and thank you, Claire. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm going to look in the chat. I don't see any more questions. Okay, great. So thank you, Katie. It's always great to see you and hear you. And someday we'll see you in person, maybe in the park. Great. Next is Joanna Sanchez from Assemblymember Harvey Epstein's office. Joanna?
Hello, everyone. Assemblymember Epstein will be in shortly. He's finishing up another meeting. Is it okay if you please get back to us?
Oh, sure, definitely. Yep.
Thank you.
Great. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Joanna. Next will be Evelyn Collado from Controller Brad Lander's office.
Does not look like Evelyn is present.
Okay, so we'll come back a bit later. Okay. I know Rebecca Grigas from Assemblymember Court's office is here. I saw her somewhere. So Rebecca.
Hello, good
Hi.
evening. I hope you're all doing well. I have nothing else new to add to my report. So if there's any questions, happy to answer them. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Rebecca? I don't see any hands raised. Okay, sounds good. All right, sorry for scrolling back and forth. Next, Taylor Abizzi from Congresswoman Maloney's office. Taylor, are you here?
Hi, I don't have any other updates. I just wanted to highlight the part of our report about the Congresswoman's hearing that she had today on the Oversight Committee about gun violence. And because it wouldn't be on our regular website page, it'd be on the committee page, I'm going to post the link to the committee page for folks who would want to take a look at some of the documents from that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Taylor. It's always great to see you. Great. Thank you so much. Next is Casey Petracek from Councilmember Power's office. Casey, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, there.
Nice to meet everybody. I'm covering for Patrick tonight. No new updates to the report, so happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. Okay, I see no hands raised, so you're off easy this evening, Casey. So good, but stick around. Okay, great. I'm not sure if our borough president is here yet. So if Mark comes or Brad comes, then we'll go back. I think Harry Gale from Councilmember Julie Menon's office is also here. Harry, did you want to say something? I'm not sure. I just want to say. Okay, there I see you. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
There you are.
Great. Sorry, I wasn't a panelist, so just had to get that worked out. Thanks for having me. Besides a report, I would just like to introduce myself. I think you're all used to seeing my former colleague, Will Yee, on these calls. Unfortunately, Will's going to be going to grad school in France, and he'll be sorely missed. But I am here. I've been on with the councilwoman's team since January 3rd. Haven't been able to go to these meetings, so excited to be getting to work with all of you. Besides our report, we are slowly opening our district office at the corner of 75th in York. We are now having appointments, and hopefully our spectrum is set up next week. We have the appointment so we can have Wi-Fi and the computers set up, and then we will be fully operational hopefully by the end of next week. And those are the updates from me.
Well, great. Well, welcome. It's glad to have you here. Wonderful. And you'll love CB6 as much as your predecessors did, I'm sure.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, of course. Great. I don't know if there's anybody else that of elected officials or agencies that wanted to speak. Brendan, is there anybody else?
Let me check. I see Madeline from Senator Kruger's office.
Oh, Madeline. Okay, great.
Hi, Mark.
Hey,
Hi, Brendan. Hi. Madeline here from Senator Kruger's office. Not much new since we submitted the report. I apologize. I hope it's posted. It is a little bit late, but just to touch on, as most of you know, the Albany session has come to an end. So the final weeks were packed with activity. So the key legislation is outlined in the report, but everything from reproductive rights to protecting the environment, voting rights, rights for folks with disabilities, oversight on some of the economic development programs from the pandemic. A lot of things were pushed toward the end of session. So read the newsletter for an outline there, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Madeline? Scroll through. I don't see any raised hands yet. Okay, I don't see any. So Madeline, you got off easy tonight too. It must be a summer thing on. Yeah.
Yeah, happy summer, everyone.
Okay, thanks so much. Good to see you. Okay, great. So we'll wait for Mark and for Brad. When they show up, we can just pop back into this elected part. Let's see next. Let's see. Let me check and see. Jesus, has anybody from the public signed up to speak? I think there might have been one person.
Yes, one person did sign up.
Jim, lower your volume.
One person did sign up. It is Donnie Moss. Mr. Moss does not live in our district, but he wishes to address the board on a matter relating to the Humane Society building, which is in our district on our northern boundary. Mr. Moss, you have 3 minutes to make your remarks, and you may begin whenever you are ready.
Thank you. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, let me. Do you see my face, or you just see the?
We see your mugshot. Yeah,
oh.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to be visible, but I don't know how to change that. So my name is Donnie Moss. I'm a grassroots organizer of animal welfare campaigns in New York City. In July of 2021, an anonymous whistleblower at the Humane Society of New York, which is an adoption center and vet clinic on 59th and 2nd, reported that the animals in the adoption center were being warehoused, meaning that very few adoptions were taking place. The whistleblower also reported that the building was closed to the public under false pretenses. The executive director of the Humane Society claims that the building is closed due to COVID, but according to the whistleblower and to 2 lawyers with whom I consulted, she cannot reopen the building due to ADA violations. The building is not wheelchair accessible under ADA guidelines, and reopening could subject the Humane Society to another ADA lawsuit. They've already settled one. COVID is no longer a viable or believable reason to keep a shelter filled with homeless animals closed to the public. But regardless of why the building is closed, adopters cannot get inside to meet the animals, which is how adoptions take place. And because the Humane Society lists just a small fraction of their animals on their website, potential adopters don't even know that the animals exist and are therefore not submitting applications. For these reasons and others, few adoptions are taking place at this adoption center. The building has now been closed for 26 months, and according to the Humane Society's website, will be closed for the quote foreseeable future. In the absence of public pressure, this warehousing of animals will continue, and many of the cats and dogs who have been living in cages for over 2 years will be stuck in these cages indefinitely. In August of 2021, I called the executive director and asked, why not send the adoptable animals to other adoption centers that are open to the public, or to foster homes. In response, she claimed that she is doing adoptions, as always, which I know is not true based on my own investigation. She also said that the shelter is the animal's foster home and that the cages are like apartments. Excuse me, my heart sank when I heard a shelter director describe cages, which are very stressful for animals, as apartments. Warehousing animals is not illegal, but it's inhumane. And I'm hoping that CB6 can somehow help get the dozens upon dozens of animals who have been languishing in cages at the Humane Society to bona fide adoption centers that are open to adopters and are sending the animals home. And I just wanted to thank Brendan Burth for so courteously responding to my emails. And that's all. And many of you have probably seen for yourself that the building is closed to the public because people are standing outside to wait for their vet clinic appointments, including elderly people who can't get inside to even wait in the lobby with a mask, or someone who needs to get inside to use the bathroom.
Thank you, Donnie. I know we have some questions here, but I assume you've sent everything, all the information you have to Brendan already?
Yes.
So he has this. Okay, maybe we can discuss it at our exec session next week.
Yep.
But in the meantime,
I've been in correspondence with Mr. Moss as well.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Brendan. I knew you'd be on it, of course. Thanks so much. Okay. We have two questions. I'll call on, I think Anne was up first and then Susan. That's okay. Anne Seligman.
Yeah, hi. You may have kind of already responded to this. I'm so disappointed to hear this. I have adopted cats from the Humane Society in the past and used them for vet care, though not recently. I'd heard something about this before. I'd really like to get more information, especially about kind of how I can follow up, how I can do my own take on what's going on there, and reach out to them and, as you say, put some pressure on to find out. And I have to ask for the other folks that are here. I know there is discussion of development in a building directly next door to them, and my little brain has to wonder if there is some connection there. So I assume Brendan can share any relevant information about what we can and should do and how to contact you, if that's appropriate.
I would be so grateful if you sent me your questions. I would communicate with any of you, anybody who's willing to listen to what's happening there. I can't tell you how grateful I am just for your interest. My email address is donnie@theirturn.net. And I can post it right in this, I guess, text.
Yeah, post it in the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
That way everyone's got it.
Yeah, and
Brendan will also have it if anybody needs it. So that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. And can you also send Brendan the information or whatever you have about the building next door situation, if you have anything? Just so we can talk about that at exec. I can see you looking.
Yeah, I mean, it came up. I get land use and transportation mixed up, yeah. But it was something that was in a previous committee meeting. So
okay, maybe Brendan, maybe you can hunt that out then.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you.
Okay.
And,
all right, Brendan, yeah.
Thank you.
Any breadcrumbs of information are helpful.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I mean, Sandy,
Susan,
you will know.
Yeah, Brendan will figure it out. Thanks, Donnie. And Susan, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I do.
Member?
Yes,
Thanks.
I do. I'm a monthly donor to the Humane Society, so this is phenomenally stressing to hear what's going on. So, like Anne, I'd be interested in knowing what I can do.
Okay, yeah, I think we're going to find a lot of us are interested in this. We'll just leave it at that. And Sandy, thank you for posting that was land use. Appreciate that. So it was in our land use committee that was discussed, so it'll help. Great. Okay, Donnie, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. Really appreciate it, and hopefully people here will take some action and get involved in that. So
thank you so much for having me.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Okay, well, since Donnie was the only person who had signed up for speaking in the public session, we will now move on to the next section, which is the adoption of the previous meeting's full board minutes. So the minutes from the May 11th full board meeting were distributed to board members ahead of time at the board office. Thank you again. If there's no objection, we'll adopt the minutes from that meeting. Board members, if you object to adopting the minutes, please raise your hand through Zoom. I'll scroll through and see if anybody has an objection. Okay. Seeing that no one objects, the minutes for the May 11th full board meeting are adopted. They'll be available on the website pretty soon. Brendan has flying fingers, so probably tomorrow, I would imagine. Great. So the next section here is the chair's report. The first item will be the elections committee. So I'll read a little bit of information about that first. So in accordance of section 3A of the CB6 bylaws, which by the way are being revamped, CB6 Chair Kyle Adide appointed an elections committee. The elections committee is tasked with the running of the election for CB6 officers that will take place in October of 2022. Exciting times. For more details on the duties of this committee, please see section 3 of the CB6 bylaws, which can be found on the CB6 website. Kyle Adide has appointed, drumroll, Larry Shire, Lady Simon, and Sandra Leftoff to serve on the elections committee. Larry will serve as the chair of this committee. Larry is now going to say a few words about the election process. So Larry, take it away.
If anyone is interested in running for any position on the executive committee, please submit your nomination, a self-nomination or a nomination of another member, to the board office at info@cbsix.org by Friday, July 8, 2022 at 5 p.m. After this date, nominations can only be made on the floor at our September 2022 full board meeting. If there are any questions, please submit them to info@cb6.org, who will then forward all inquiries to the elections committee. As a reminder, the committee serves to oversee the technical process of the election and to ensure compliance with our board's bylaws. We are not consultants for anyone's candidacy. Back to you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Shire, or Chair Shire, I will call you now. So give you a new title. Very good. Thanks. So now I'll continue with the chair's report. This was given to me by Kyle in his absence. So I'll read through this. I may make a few side comments. First, I would like to say to everyone, Happy Pride Month. I know many of us celebrate that. So hope you all enjoy the great month and the great weather we're having. Let's hope it holds up. So first, thanks to all who were able to make Gene Santoro's memorial last month. It was a beautiful celebration of a special friend, mentor, and community advocate. There were many tears, but just as many laughs and smiles. Special thanks to Adam, Brian, and Raj for coordinating, as well as to the elected officials who paid their respects, and to Tess and the rest of the Santoro family for their attendance, participation, and for sharing Gene with us for all these years. And for those of you who were there, it was a wonderful day. And for those of you who weren't, it was a great way to celebrate Gene's life. Next, item 2, CB6 held a public hearing on the open meeting law last month, which focused on the procedures for hybrid meetings that was set forth through the state budget approval process from the other month. The executive committee voted on a resolution that codified procedures set forth in the approved state budget so that our board has the option to conduct hybrid meetings instead of in-person meetings as we move forward. The first of tonight's resolutions from the executive committee is focused on codifying that procedure. So you'll hear about that in a bit. At this same hearing, the executive committee put forth a separate resolution urging state leadership to improve the open meetings law amendments that were first passed in the state budget. CB6 has been at the forefront of this issue, and I want you guys all to be proud of us. We were the first board to actually jump on it in reality before anybody did. And we made this happen. So thanks to everyone who made it happen. So we were there before it came up in spring of 2021, and we continue to fight for a completely virtual option for board members to allow for maximum participation, transparency, and accessibility. We believe that every public body should have the ability to self-determine the model that works best for their membership and community. This is the second resolution we'll vote on tonight from the executive committee. So we'll see that later on. Third point here, simultaneously at the end of May, Mayor Eric Adams signed Executive Order 103, which extends the city's state of emergency for 30 days with an anticipated end on June 27th, 2022. The Borough President's Office has provided guidance that as a result of this executive order, community boards may operate 100% virtual until this date. So that's good news for us. We're able to keep our Zooms going. Our next point is, in accordance with our bylaws, Kyle is establishing an elections committee to oversee our process, the executive committee election, which will take place this October 2022. And you've already heard about all this, so I will just go on to our next step. Next, while our Gene Santoro can never be replaced, Kyle has appointed Brian Van Nieuwenhoven as the new chair of the Transportation Committee. Kyle would like to thank him for so many years of service on the boards as the board's treasurer, and we look forward to working with him in this new capacity. So congratulations, Brian. You've got big shoes to fill, or I guess I should say big wheels to turn, something like that. I don't know, sorry. And a happy moment for all of us is I'd like to welcome to the new members of Manhattan Community Board 6. We're joined by 10 new members, many of whom are here tonight. You see the faces now. There are various backgrounds, geographic locations, professional skill sets, and interest areas. In fact, for the first time in a long time, we are welcoming not just one, but 2 high school students as part of our board. So welcome, everyone. The new members were welcomed and oriented by the board chair and district manager and will be appointed to new committees in consultation with the committee chairs over the summer. And while we're going to officially recognize everyone at the September 22 full board meeting, in the interim, I'd like to introduce each one of them so we can give them all a warm welcome. CB6 is a great family. We're all a lot of fun, so you're going to enjoy this. And I'm going to call on each person just to wave and say hello, and also to tell us something interesting, funny, quirky, whatever you want, just a little quip about yourself. So new members, get ready. I'm going to call you out, I think, in alphabetical order, if I can read my handwriting, so I apologize. So first is Majed Abdul Samad. Majed, do you want to say hello and just tell us something interesting about yourself?
Hi, everybody. Very nice to be here. I'll say I recently did the 5-borough bike ride, so passed through our district from start to finish and up to the Bronx and down. So that was really interesting. If you haven't done it and you're able, I highly recommend it.
Okay. So a biker, Transportation Committee, I guess. Okay, very good.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Our next new member is Jonathan Derica. Jonathan.
Hey, everyone. It's great to see you all. My fun fact is much less athletic than Majed's, but it's that I'm colorblind. So if you ever see me wearing a funny outfit on here, feel free to let me know. But I guess we're good since we're matching.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. You got the memo, so that's okay. Very good. Actually, what neighborhood are you from in the district?
I live in Peter Cooper Village.
Oh, okay. Welcome. I'm a Stuytowner. And Majed, I forgot to ask you where you live.
In Tudor City.
Oh, very good. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Our next new member is Jason Vermowitz. Jason.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet everybody. Excited to be here. I live in Gramercy. My fun fact, I'm going to stick with the athletic theme. I'm running in the New York City Marathon in November, and I'm just starting training for it. So if you see me running, that's what I'm doing.
All right. So we'll have to get a CB6 contingent to stand beside and cheer you on and throw water at you. Yeah, because I don't think many of us, well, actually, there are some people who do the marathons, but I mean, we'll go there. Okay. Thank you so much. Next, Sadie Howard, who is one of our 2 high school students. Sadie.
Hi, I'm Sadie. I live in Murray Hill, and a fun fact, which is also going to be athletic, is I've been dancing for 12 years.
All right. And where do you go to high school?
I go to Beacon.
Ah, very cool. Okay, good. All right. Thank you and welcome. Our next is Aisha Siddiqui, who is also one of our high school students. Aisha.
Hi, I'm Aisha. A fun fact is I'm going to Fordham University next for the fall.
There are some Rams on CB6, so you're in good company. Very good.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, good. Wonderful. Thank you. Next new member is Hannah Singleman.
Hello, everyone. Very thrilled to be here. I live in Gramercy. My fun fact, it's not the most New York fun fact that I have, but I'm originally from Boston. The Celtics are in the finals, big game tonight. So I had to put in, that's kind of my fun fact. That's who I'm cheering for tonight.
That's okay. Many of us suffered through Boston and escaped. So we're good. Very good. Well, welcome. We'll turn you into a true New York fan, though, so don't worry about it. There's a few people on this screen who will definitely do that for you. Our next new member is Gabriel Terzo. Gabriel.
Oh, hello, everybody. I'm very grateful to be here. Originally from Philadelphia, but I feel 15 years, so I'm a New Yorker now. How does this work? Fun fact, I'm one of the managers of the Trader Joe's at 59th and 1st, so come on down, say hi. It's the busiest Trader Joe's in America already, only in New York. So
love it. Fantastic, great. We love that space. We have dealt with that space quite a bit in the past, so very good. Great. Next, Matthew Weintraub. Matthew and PJ, we can introduce you both.
PJ is off camera at the moment, won't be making an appearance, but my name is, well, you know my name. My fun fact is I do spoken word poetry. There's PJ. And I live in Kips Bay.
All right. Okay, thank you. And thanks, PJ. Seeing you again. Great. Next is Nadeem Kilani. Oh, Nadeem's not here this evening, so we'll give Nadeem the degree when he's here next time. And Jason Littman is also a new member who is not here this evening, so we'll get them to introduce themselves in greater depth in September. Whew, which is amazing to say that, but summer is here. Okay, great. Finally, I'm gonna have one message from Kyle. He just wants to thank everyone on this board for their participation and engagement over the past year. It's not been easy to serve on this board with the ebbs and flows of COVID surges and variants, yet each of you has remained committed to the work of this board and to improving our communities. As I always say, any public body is only as strong and effective as the passion and dedication of its members. All of you have demonstrated why Community Board 6 has such a stellar reputation for thoughtfulness, action, and results. I am proud to serve alongside all of you and wish all of you a wonderful and well-deserved summer hiatus. So that's from Kyle. I have some more comments to make, but I'm going to call on Anne because she has her hand up and I bet it's something interesting. Anne?
I don't know if it's interesting. I just want to say, I think it was a little bit cruel of you to put our newest members on the spot like that. And that maybe if we're going to be staying on Zoom, we should take 5 minutes of each meeting, which is not that long, and put all of us on the spot like that so we can learn a little bit more about each other, which is so hard to do on Zoom and get to know each other. So yeah, like if we can figure some way to kind of do that.
We just keep the meeting going. We can turn the recording off and just hang out, you know, eat some candy, whatever. Just so you all know, for the new members, Anne's the party girl of the board. She always has great suggestions about how to socialize. So perfect idea. I think it's great. I love it. And as you know, one thing I wanted to say was that when I was chair years ago, we used to hang out. We'd get there early. People would just talk forever, eat inappropriate food that I no longer eat. And we'd have a lot of fun. We'd stay afterwards. There was a lot of socialization, and that's how we got so much great stuff done. And I hope that when we return to some kind of an in-person meeting, we can do that. And I hope that over the summertime, even a lot of us can get together. We'd love to meet the newer members. I mean, it's weird not to be able to hang out with you. I mean, you know, I know a lot of you probably are in Zoom meetings for work or for school, but let's try and you know, make some connections here so you know which committees you want to be on. Everybody on this board is wonderful. I've been on it, good grief, for 20 some years, I think, maybe 22. I know, horrifying, right? And when I first started, I was kind of in shock. But over time, I realized that this board is amazing and awesome. Every single person is brilliant, wonderful what they do. In my professional life, I spend a lot of time being tortured at other community boards for a variety of reasons. And whenever I leave, and I hope nobody else, the electeds are going to hear this, sorry guys. When I come back to CB6, I'm so grateful to be with a bunch of people that are just, okay, loving, which is sort of a weird word to use for people in a a board like this, but they are. Everyone's friends. They're smart. They want to help each other. We do things to, make it easier on everyone. The staff in the office, you guys, I wish you were around when I was chair, let's put it that way, because you make it so much easier to do everything. It's just wonderful to be in this group. We do great work. As we said, we were the ones who took up the challenge of keeping Zoom meetings going so we wouldn't have to be exposed or go back to meetings, which they were trying to force us to do. The new members, you're all in a great group of people. So take advantage of us, reach out to people. If you see somebody's, whatever on LinkedIn, or if you meet them after the meeting tonight at Ann's party or Boom Boom Zoom room, just feel free to reach out to people. That's what we do. And that's the way you'll get to become part of the board and get to be much more effective. And we do great things for the city of New York. So welcome. And I'm just proud to have you all here. I'm really proud of this board. And we can do great stuff. And I see that Michael has a question too. So Michael, take it away.
That's the one thing, Mark, I just wanted to, I went to my first community board for a different community board yesterday, and it made me realize how well-run these meetings are for our community board 6, and how, the participation and the input, it was made me proud to be on this community board, when I saw how and nothing to them, but I just think that we're so much better and organized, I would say, and that's a testament to the people on it.
Yeah, it's our staff, which they've done a wonderful job of just keeping us going. And it's just the people on board, really, you all get it. And, not all of us were blessed enough to be born in New York. Some people were from Boston. I'm from, Rich Mintz and I are from LA, but we escaped. We came to New York. And now we're all hardcore New Yorkers, and we're making it happen here. So we should be proud of what we do. But I totally agree. And this board is awesome. Years ago, Carol Schachter, who was the chair of the board, I think 2 terms before me, she was at a different board meeting, I won't say where, and I saw her the day after, and she said, when I crossed the street back into CB6, I threw myself on the sidewalk and kissed the ground, which was, I didn't quite get it, but then I realized what she was saying, and it's true. We're lucky to be on this board. So looking forward to working with all of you and making great stuff happen. So thank you all. And with that, that's the end of my babbling, my chair's report. Let's see. So next, I would like to see, has our borough president, Mark Levine, come yet? I know he was going to be quite delayed. Mark Levine raised his hand. You are here, Mark. But I don't see you. I got a little notice.
I'm actually here. Can you hear or see me, Mr. Chair?
We can hear you. We all hear you.
I see his video.
I can see him. I can see him.
You can see him. Okay, great. All right. I don't see my screen, but Borough President Mark Levine, welcome. You are our hero. So thank you for being here.
Oh, well, thank you. And I heard part of your very moving remarks. I also kiss the ground every time I walk into CB6. Just has that effect on a lot of people. It's a special place. I am really thrilled to welcome the new board members, but I also want to take a minute first to thank board members who we're saying goodbye to, who have just done such incredible service to CB6, to Manhattan. Thank you so much, Charles Fernandez, Asia Badi, Andrew Gross, Sean Sherman, Jennifer Wells Magali, Andrew Suresh, Corinne Vanderdonk, and Claude Winfield. And now I'm thrilled to welcome the new members, including Sadie Howard, Jonathan Derica, Aisha Siddiqui, Majid Abdul Salmad, Nadeem Kalani, Gabriel Terzo, Hannah Singelman, Matthew Weintraub, Jason Vermowitz, and Jason Littman. So thrilled about our new crop of leaders. So grateful to those who we're saying goodbye to. I know we'll continue to work with you as you continue to be active and lead on behalf of the community. We had about the most competitive community board selection process this borough has ever had. We had 900 applications for 300 spots borough-wide. It was really incredibly competitive. And we just have an incredible group of leaders breaking records of diversity in many ways. 70% of our new appointments are people of color. That's an all-time high. A majority are women. We have a record number of young people. We have 26% of our appointments are age 30 or under. And we have actually 6 who are teenagers. So really excited about the breadth of perspectives that we're bringing into the board. Most of you who are new have completed an onboarding process that we've really attempted to make as robust as possible. We want to support you. There's a lot to learn. It takes a long time to figure out the machinery of local government and the board's place in it. We're also going to be preparing a pretty substantial menu of trainings throughout the year, including adding a new topic, anti-bias training, that we're going to introduce and require for the first time this year. This is part of our broader effort to really establish a culture of robust debate and respect on the boards. Of course, we have a lot of contentious issues. There should and will be disagreements. We want every perspective heard, and even if those views are strenuously expressed. But we do want people to feel respected on the boards, and that's why we are expanding the training, and also are going to be rolling out a code of conduct that some of you may have seen, but that will be officially rolled out soon. So we are excited about the new leaders, excited about CB6. And I now want to say a word about the open meetings law, which has preoccupied all of us, which the current emergency order was extended, but thanks to an extension by the mayor, but will expire on June 27th. That should cover you for your committee meetings in June, I believe, but it means that going forward, we have a new regime in which there are real challenges and real questions still. We have really used the resources of our office. Our legal team has sought to get clarity on a number of questions related to the operation of in-person and hybrid meetings. And we have achieved some clarification that's helpful. Just in the past week, we have confirmed that you can indeed require masking, that the community board can require masking at its in-person meetings. We have also confirmed, this is a more minor matter, but that you can require spacing, say of 3 feet between seats. The question of screening for vaccination is a little more complicated. What we believe is what would be permitted is that you can book a space where the venue requires screening for vaccination. So that's slightly different from the board itself screening for vaccination, but it does present you with an avenue for ensuring that the people who attend are indeed vaccinated. That question we're still looking to get some clarity on. We also understand that to do in-person and hybrid, to do hybrid meetings well is not easy. It requires resources, technology, equipment, so that everyone, whether they're in the room or online, feels heard and seen and feels that they are participating seamlessly. That is actually not easy to do and probably requires additional staff resources. And so we are committed to help get you those resources while we continue to get legal clarity on the questions that I laid out. Finally, I'll just note one hyper-local matter that we've been working on. We've heard from many of you have complained about dealing with garbage from Washington Irving High School. I know there's 6 schools in the building, and this has been a source of great concern. So we did send a letter to the Department of Education calling on them to move the garbage to the corner of Irving Place. And we haven't gotten a definitive response yet. We are going to continue to push for that. And we'll keep you posted. The board as a whole, we've been working with the chair, and we're going to continue to push until we get the right result on that. So I think I'm going to pause there. I don't know if there's time for questions. If so, happy to take them. If not, I understand if you have a tight agenda. I'll pass it back to you, Acting Chair Thompson.
Thank you, Borough President. Of course, there is always time for questions for you. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks for that great report. I know, Jesus, you have a question, so we'll yield the floor to you.
Hello, thank you. Good evening, Borough President Levine. I guess, well, first of all, thank you for all the advocacy your office has been doing with the City Law Department on behalf of community boards for a bit of flexibility on open meetings law matters. One thing I might actually suggest, though, is in any memo that comes out, or especially if it's coming from the law department, if they could perhaps indicate like the specific statutes in law where they're getting their interpretations from, because the whole thing about initially the law department saying that community boards were not legally allowed to, for example, require masks at their meetings. Well, either the law says that that we can, or we can't. It always puzzled me that advocacy was required because the law either allows it or it doesn't. So it makes me wonder: is the law department just sort of making this stuff as it goes along? So if they can perhaps indicate where in the statutes they're getting what they're telling you and what they're telling us, that would be very helpful for us because we had there were a lot of people perplexed about the mask thing, and now that it's turned out in our favor, that's great. But it makes me wonder, why did they ever say the opposite? Either the law allows it or it doesn't.
Right. Well, we shared your dismay at the original guidance from the law department, pushed back hard. We achieved the result we wanted. We will ask the law department to cite its sources. In fairness, I think we're all in uncharted territory here, and that's where interpretation comes in. But we're going to continue to use our legal resources full force to support the boards in navigating through this, and we'll make that request to the law department. And I'll note that my wonderful community liaison here, Brian Lafferty, has just posted his contact info, and we'll continue to serve as a resource for you. And we'll report on everything we learned from the law department as pertains to the open meetings law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Sis. I see that Susan Steinberg has a question. Susan.
Yes, I do. Hi, Borough President Levine. So nice to see you not in a car. Since I always see you in a car.
I'm on solid ground for once.
Yeah, right. My question is, many of the venues where we meet are either healthcare facilities or schools like NYU. So do we know for a fact that they're going to be available to us come September?
Well, I don't know the specific venues that you're referring to, but this is a problem. It's been harder to book space in the pandemic era. And this is one of the many reasons why we have pushed hard to give you a full online option if you so choose. Given the law as it is, and we're going to continue to push for changes to the state law that would allow you more flexibility, the flexibility to go all online if you need to. We will also help you find venues. We understand that's going to be a challenge. So I'm sorry, was that a question?
Oh, I think your mic is on.
Anyway, Susan, we hear you loud and clear. We agree this is going to be a challenge. One of the reasons why we're continuing to fight for changes. And in the meantime, we'll do what we can to help you find venues.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Mark. Okay. Does anybody else have a question? I'm going to scroll through and see if I see any raised hands. I do not. So, Borough President Levine, thank you so much as always for giving us your time. It's great to have you here with us, and glad that you love CBC.
Likewise, Mark.
Okay,
All
great.
right,
And I'll see you soon.
Have a good night.
Thanks so much. Have a good night. Great. Thank you. I wanted to check back and see if Controller Brad Lander has arrived yet. I'm not sure if he's coming over time.
I don't see anyone from the controller's office.
Okay, so we'll come back later on. We can check. That's okay. I know Brad's. It's budget season, so Brad's busy. I have one quick question. I would like to ask Gabriel Terzo to please introduce his baby to us. We saw something fuzzy come across the screen at some point a few minutes ago. I'll put you all on the spot.
Yes, that was Ruby. Sorry about that. She doesn't understand the bylaws regarding dogs in the meeting.
Dogs have free reign. Wow, sorry. So,
No, I thought the bylaws required any pets to be present.
Well, we do have the bylaws committee where B will be reworking the bylaws, and B Disman, I believe, is requiring everyone who has a pet to have them on camera, at least for a few minutes. So just to warn you guys in advance. But thank you. Thanks, Gabriel.
Great. It was my pleasure and Ruby's pleasure.
Oh, very good. Nice to meet you, Ruby, a junior member, a public member, I guess, technically. I know there was a question in the chat. I think Collins asked it about the swearing in of the new members. When we were in person and, not on whatever, all the new members would be sworn in person at the meeting. The borough president would do that. It's a little bit difficult to do that on Zoom. We're going to be waiting until September to have that massive event. So in a few months, all the new members will officially be sworn in. And actually all members do the swearing in also. All the current members also join in. It's a fun thing we like to do. So makes you feel a part of it. So look forward to that in September. Hopefully we'll be in person. We shall see. But just a little update there. Let's see. So next, we are going to continue with the district manager's report. So Jesus Perez, our DM, can you please come on down?
Yes. Thank you very much, Mark. Good evening, everyone, members and all the folks watching from home. I echo Mark's sentiments about everything he said about CB6 and also happy Pride Month. Two quick things, housekeeping items. One, a couple of months ago, I did say that we were working on bringing back the email roster that had gone away for a little while because of some complicated city stuff. And so we've been corresponding with the mayor's office of privacy information or whatever that is. So it's coming back. We, by the end of the week, will be sending all members who were appointed last year or before a form to sort of confirm all your contact information and for you to opt into being on this roster. All the new members, the 10 new members that we have already confirmed their information. So we're now just going to reach out to the existing members, and you must opt in to be on this roster. It'll have everyone's, or at least everyone who opts in, their name, their email, and their preferred pronouns. So that we'll make that available early on in the summer, but it all depends on how quickly everybody responds to their forms. So that's coming. We didn't forget about it. Second thing, especially for the new members, and we've had some questions about this, so I want to go ahead and address it now. On the website calendar, we have a really great website. We encourage everyone to use it. Some folks have been using it and they have some questions about the calendar. Typically in July and August, the board committees and full board, most of the board committees and full board go on hiatus. Exec continues to meet, the licensing committee typically continues to meet, but all the other committees typically go on hiatus. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do. However, you may notice that on the calendar, July and August meetings are posted for all committees. That's sort of just for informational purposes. That's the night that they would have happened if they were happening at all. So don't worry about that. Typically after the executive committee meeting happens the previous month, those dates go away. So if you see them and you say, oh, it looks like my committee is meeting July and August, it may not be, most likely it won't be. Just watch the calendar, and if any meeting happens in the summer, you can believe that we will be sending you an email about it as well. So don't worry about that. But typically those meetings don't happen in the summer because there's a hiatus for the board. And don't be alarmed if you happen to see some dates for July and August for the committees. That's really all I have. If anyone, I see Anne Seligman has her hand raised, so if she would like the floor.
Yes, hi, Jesus. And I want to echo all the great things that people have said about the office and how like, we would not be a good board without you guys. So you mentioned in the roster that you mentioned sharing our name, email, and pronouns. You did not mention phone number. And I wasn't sure whether that's because it's not part of it or you just didn't mention it.
We're not going to put the phone number on that. If people want phone numbers, they can connect via email. We wanted to keep the information that we share as limited as possible. So by design, the phone numbers are not included.
Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you. And thank you for the kind words, everyone. I honestly, Alex, Brendan, they're great. All the previous staff we've had, I would be entirely unexceptional without them. I hear horror stories from other boards of their staff. I am not religious, but I become so every time I think of the staff that I have. I am truly blessed. I thank you. We only do it for you guys. What I tell them is that I want us to be the agency that we would want to deal with if we needed help from the city. So that's always going to be our guiding principle.
Good.
But thank you.
Thank you, because it works, you guys. You're all wonderful. So yeah, would have made my life easier, as I said a couple of years ago, but that's okay. All right. So on to the next exciting part of our agenda. It is, with another drum roll, the treasurer's report. Brian Van Nieuwenhoven, our board treasurer, will now give us his report. Brian,
good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to note pedantically that as of tonight, I am still the treasurer. I have submitted a resignation effective at the end of this meeting so that my transportation chair appointment can take effect at that time because there is a problem in the bylaws with someone serving dual roles. So at the moment, I am not transpo chair. I am still treasurer, and I'm about to read my final treasurer's report. This will also be the final treasurer's report for the current fiscal year, which ends on June 30th, 2022, and the day after we get a full top off of next year's budget money, which we have no idea which it'll be because the budget's still being negotiated. Anyway, OMB's budget summary report for our board, dated May 27th, shows that our personal services budget for the year is $237,033. We have a balance of $45,946 with $191,086 spent or obligated. The current budget for other than personal services, excluding rent, is $161,901. This figure contains $119,646 of our retained street fair funds from our street fair disbursements. Our remaining OTPS budget from the city is $42,255. We have a balance of $27,515 with $14,739 spent or obligated. Finally, we have a rent budget of $163,642, and it has already been used to pay our rent obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you.
Brian, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you for an amazing job as treasurer. It's, just seriously, you've done beyond and above and beyond and then more with a lot of stuff and done it so well. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I'm sorry to see you leaving as treasurer. Happy that you're going to a good position though. But thank you again. It's been wonderful. So great.
Echo that sentiment. The district manager and the treasurer have to work very closely together. And the entire 6+ years that I've been here, I've either been working with Brian or B, both of whom have been wonderful treasurers. I'm sad that I'm not going to be working with them as treasurer. And hopefully the next person will be as good as they are, but they have some big shoes to fill.
Good. All right. Okay, well, thank you. Normally, when we are in person, this will be the spot for the new members where we take a break, we go eat donuts and have a lot of sugar and caffeine and talk and gossip and maybe, sort of finalize some resolutions that hadn't been finalized. But since we're not in person, we just kind of plow through it to get the evening over. And this is the most probably exciting part of the entire meeting. It's the committee reports and resolutions where we hear what the committees have been doing and we vote on the resolutions. So with that, I'm going to read some little rules that most people know, new members, just so you'll know what's going on. So in order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules, which are pretty much the same as the ones I read earlier this evening. No one may speak until granted the floor. Board members, if you have a question or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. The chat function should not be used for board business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record, so we can record it, by raising your hand through the Zoom. Chat should be only used to alert us to any technical difficulties you're having, like I can't hear you, can't hear me, whatever, or to state in writing information like an email address, etc. It was already stated aloud on the record, so during the meeting. When a board member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you. Members of the public, please note that during this session of the meeting, we only entertain questions from members of the board. That's just the rules of the board and all community boards. So it's just for board members to speak. We're required by New York State law to have a transcript of the meeting, so please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Okay, so again, we are using a digital ballot as we have been using since we went on Zoom. The CB6 staff will post a link to the ballot in the chat. Please open this ballot, select your name from the list of board members on the drop-down list, select your vote on each resolution as it is presented. Do not hit submit until later in the meeting or Jesus will get mad at you. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. After the final resolution has been presented. At the end of the meeting, once you have indicated all of your votes in your ballot, only then should you submit the ballot. You will not be able to submit the ballot unless you vote on every resolution. If you plan on abstaining, please select abstain. Final vote counts will be announced after the second roll call. So please stick around for that. That's the fun part. If any part of your voting procedure is unclear, please raise your hand through Zoom and we'll address your question. Okay, Brendan's going to post the link to the digital ballot in the chat, and he's going to share the screen. And then we will start by going through with each of the committees, sort of randomly. The first up will be Budget and Governmental Affairs. I'm going to call on Reshma Patel, Chair. Reshma.
Hi, thank you, Mark. So our monthly meeting for June is not happening until Monday. So we don't have anything to report, but I would just like to ask all the different committee chairs to, again, if they can, to submit their budget request. You should have gotten an email from me in that regards, and I'll be in touch again over the summer if I don't hear from you between now and Monday.
Cool. All right, great. Any questions for Reshma? I can't see, so Jesus, are you able to see everyone if they raise a hand? Okay, I'm reading your lips and you're saying either I want a cheeseburger or nobody has any questions.
Both.
Both, okay, it's on its way. Yeah, great, okay. Thanks, Reshma, and I love your Manhattan Hinge picture behind you, very cool. Okay, our next committee is Environment and Parks with Kevin O'Keefe, Chair. Kevin.
Yeah, that's me. Thanks,
That's
Mark.
you. Anytime.
You know, I too want to welcome the 10 new CB6 members. To each of you, I look forward to your input toward the improvement of our community. Now, the Environment and Parks Committee unanimously believes our resolution before you tonight will improve the community. By the way, it was good to hear from Donnie Moss earlier this evening about the welfare of dogs. Our resolution, which we passed last night, also concerns the welfare of dogs. More specifically, a proposed dog run between the FDR Drive and the East River adjacent New Wave Pier. I want to recognize the work of Committee Vice Chair Jeannie D'Onofrio. Jeannie not only drew up this resolution, she acted 2 years ago when a Murray Hill dog walker named Linda Levine passionately convinced me at a New York City marathon party, for those scoring at home, that the community needed a dog run. Jeannie started some deep dog run research that has continued to this day. Also, huge thanks to Alliance for Kips Bay, all KB to many of us. All KB's top dogs, pun intended, are Molly Hollister and Sandy McKee. All KB brought the dog run idea to life, from identifying a suitable home for the run to securing the Parks Department's support. Steve O presented to the committee on behalf of all KB last night. Steve has rallied many in the community to support this dog run. Thank you, Team All KB, and I hope we find the full board support on the resolution before you. That's all for me.
Great. So thank you, Kevin. So everyone, you have the resolution in your packet, which you have read by now, I am confident. I would like you to mark your vote on the digital ballot, which is in the chat. Sorry, I haven't. Brendan, is it up there?
Yeah, it's in the digital ballot, but there also needs to be a call to question.
Okay, Letty's raising her hand. Letty, Simon.
Hang on. Call the question. That's what I was raising my hand for.
Okay.
Second.
I'm going to do one quickie. I know Adam Hart had his hand raised, which I think might have either been to show us a picture or show us Beatrice. Okay, very good. And show us Beatrice at the same time.
Just went to bed.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Okay, great. All right. Thank you, Brendan. So you can now access the digital ballot by going to the chat at the bottom of your screen, clicking on that for the new members, and it will pop up. And then you'll be able to vote. Make sure you pick your name from the drop-down list first. And then when you vote, do not hit submit, sorry, because that will screw it all up. You'll just wait and go on to the next resolution. If you're not using a digital ballot, we're going to ask you to vote verbally during the second roll call. I'm not sure if anybody tonight is actually using a verbal vote, but if you are, just wait till later on, but keep notes on how you're going to vote. Okay. Kevin, do you have a report?
In the interest of time, I will waive my report, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm just going to make one comment. For the new members, this is the kind of thing that CB6 does really well. We hear something in the community, we all run around like mad people, and we get something awesome done, like this dog run will get done, I assume. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in it. Wonderful. I also forgot to mention earlier the 2 R's, which are ruthless and relentless. When I was chair of the Parks Committee, I was ruthless and relentless in campaigning to get new members of the board onto my committee. I encourage all committee chairs to be ruthless and relentless in asking our new members to join their committees. And you are allowed to recruit people any way you want: cookies, donuts, fun, whatever it is. So new members, be ready for that. Okay, great. All right, so has everyone voted but not hit submit? Then we will go on to the next committee, which is Housing and Homelessness. Rich Mintz, Chair.
Thank you, Mark. And good evening to everyone, and welcome to our 10 new members. We are the Housing and Homelessness Committee. We are an enthusiastic and highly engaged committee. We're a lot of fun, and we are also understaffed, which means some of you will be assigned to our committee, and we will be glad to have you. We for random reasons, we lost a couple of members in the last couple of months. So we need more warm bodies who care about the future of housing availability and affordability and housing for everyone in the city of New York. We have 2 resolutions this month, and I will try to be concise. The first one, item A on the agenda, is a resolution in support of Council Member Carlina Rivera's social housing bills. And that is a bill package that was introduced at this point, probably 2 months ago, by the council member that would do a few related things to make to encourage the development of new affordable housing under a social housing model, and also to provide safe living conditions for tenants. And the most substantive of the bills is a bill that would known as the Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, or COPA, which would allow certain vetted entities, I believe all nonprofits, a first right to purchase residential buildings that went on sale in order to convert them into housing under a cooperative model, where the costs for residents would be reduced. This is a model that is in place in other places. We have community land trusts in New York City, including the one in Cooper Square, which is a model. So we feel that we should support this. The other, you can read about the other bills that are part of the package. I think the most important one is that lead paint restrictions are extended to the common areas of rental buildings. Currently, you're not allowed to have lead paint in the unit that you rent if you're a landlord, but you can paint the hallway with lead paint all you like. And the goal of this is to remedy that, to create a lead-free environment across the building. Are there any questions or is there any discussion? And I'll hand it back to the chair.
Jesus, do you see any questions? Okay, Matthew Weintraub has raised his hand. Matthew?
Sorry.
Unmute.
I have a question about item B. I don't know if you were going back to that.
Yeah.
Item B, is that the other resolution, the restroom resolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover that afterwards. We're going to do them one at a time.
Yeah,
no worries.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Adam Hartke. Beatrice
Call the question.
Okay. Question called. Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
Okay. Thank you, Raj. Okay, so this is Resolution 3A, supporting Councilmember Carlina Rivera's social housing bill and package. So please go to your electronic digital ballot for this resolution and vote, but do not hit submit. And those of you who are not using the digital ballot, if there are any, we'll ask for your vote verbally during the second roll call. Okay, so we'll give everyone a minute to, but do not hit submit. Okay. I think we're good. Rich, you want to go to B?
Yes, I'll introduce resolution B. So as I mentioned I believe in full board last month, I'm a member of a cross-community board task force in Manhattan to deal with the lack of public restrooms in the city that are available to the public without restriction. This is a task force convened under the leadership of, I believe, Community Boards 5 and 1, with others participating. And this is also an initiative that is a priority of the borough president. And so it's a very, I would say, substantive effort. We're exploring lots of avenues, but one of them is to support this bill that was introduced into the council with the collaboration of the Manhattan Borough President, that would require the city to do planning to begin to install public restrooms across New York City in every zip code. And this doesn't actually fund the installation. It requires that the planning and siting be done. Community boards under the legislation would have a role in establishing the sites for public restrooms in their community district. But this is a good first step. So the resolution calls for that legislation to be passed. It calls for additional public bathrooms to be installed in our community district, starting with one that is at the latitude of the East 30s, so that the day population in the neighborhood that uses Bellevue Hospital and the men's shelter will have access to it and have a safe place to go. And then finally, we are asking the city to fund the Parks Department capital and operating budgets, because there are dozens, maybe hundreds of defunct or underserved or unrenovated comfort stations in New York City parks that are a significant lever that we have to address this problem. That's the resolution in a nutshell. The only other thing I'll say is that this was modeled off of a model resolution prepared by Community Board 5, and 4 or 5 community boards have materially similar resolutions in front of them this month.
Great. Okay, thanks, Rich. Then what I would like to do is ask everyone to go to your ballots. Oh, I see that 2 people have raised hands, Adam Hartke and Matthew Weintraub. Matthew, do you want to ask a question first? I think it's a question, right?
Question, observation. I read through the resolution or the pre-decision, and on line 69, it mentions putting a bathroom in walking distance of Bellevue Hospital.
Yeah.
And I've been keeping up to date with the park renovation of Bellevue South, which prior to that renovation that just started did not have a bathroom. And I'm pretty sure when I was in the Parks Committee meeting, when they were going over that renovation, they don't have a plan to put a public bathroom in it. And that is the park where a lot of the individuals who stay in the shelter go to during the day.
Yeah, we're very familiar with it in the committee. Yeah.
So I was just curious, like, is it possible? I mean, there's water fixtures there. It's very possible to probably install a bathroom in that park. And, you know, I see people go to the bathroom there all the time, and they're going to continue to go to the bathroom there if we don't give them a place to go.
That would, in my opinion, that would be a good solution to the problem. And I think that we should do what we can to make that happen, whether or not it's the bathroom that is the response to this provision. I think it's a very good idea.
Great. Thank you, Matthew. Adam Harkey.
Thanks, Mark. Rich, I actually have a question for you. So you brought up supporting the broader parks capital funds through this. Do we plan on including something within the district needs or sort of the budgeting process that speaks to that directly?
We're considering it. We have it's still an open question. You know, the underlying issue is that we don't really have the leverage to impact this. Like, we need the help of council members to make this happen. And if I remember correctly, Katie may be here. There was additional funding for this in the budget that the mayor took out. So you know, it's the typical complicated dance. But yes, I think we are going to end up with a budget request.
Great, thank you.
Great. Okay, great. Then let's go to vote on the supporting intro 0258-2022, requiring the city to establish a plan to install at least one public restroom in every zip code in the city. So mark on your digital ballot for this resolution, but do not again hit submit. Letty, you raised your hand. I'll stop talking. So why don't you cut in and
call the question?
Oh, okay. Thank you. And Claire. Oh, let me see if I can unmute. I can't unmute. Yeah, we can. I can't hear you, Claire. I know.
She seconded. She seconded.
Oh, okay. So you seconded. Good. Thank you. Okay, great. All right. So we'll call the question then. All right. So this is the resolution. So for those of you, please mark your digital ballot for this resolution. Do not hit submit. If you're not using a digital ballot, we're going to ask you to vote verbally during the second roll call. So please take a minute to mark your ballot. And I would ask Letty Simon to sing to us and give us a musical interlude.
You don't want to hear that. You don't
I
want
kind
to
of,
hear
yeah,
that.
you know.
I'm getting ready to say bundle on the next one. So
okay, well, we're going to do one thing first. I know if we're all done voting, Rich, do you have a report? And then I have a little loop back.
I waive my report.
Thank you. We'll wave at you. Thank you so much, Rich. We're actually going to circle back to Joanna Sanchez, who is going to give us the report from Assemblymember Harvey Epstein's office. Harvey was going to join us, but we'll go to Joanna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joanna Sanchez. I'm from Assemblymember Epstein's office. Assemblymember is running a little bit late. He has been in and out of meetings, but I did want to introduce myself and inform everyone that there have been a few bills that have been passed. The Stop Immigration Bond Abuse Act. Also, we are helping, Assembly members helping more New Yorkers to get the public service loan forgiveness. Another bill that was passed was the A3298, which is, this bill requires health professionals to provide patients with information regarding sudden unexpected deaths and epilepsy. If you have any further questions or concerns, feel free to contact our office. I will put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Joanna. Does anybody have any questions for Joanna?
You're welcome.
I will scroll and see if anybody has hands up. Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much, Joanna. You're free of questions.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay, thanks so much. And stay out of Harvey for us. Okay,
Will
great.
do. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks. Okay, so we'll return back to our regularly scheduled programming. Our next committee is Business Affairs and Licensing. Claire Brennan, Chair. Claire, you only have one resolution.
Can you hear me?
Oh, no, two. Sorry. Okay.
But can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did whatever you had to do. You fixed it. Thank goodness.
God, I'm not usually that person 2 years in.
I usually am. Yeah.
Kevin, did you have a question?
I have a comment, one word comment, bundle.
Bundle.
Claire,
bundle
you have bundling?
Yes.
Okay, there's also, we
I
have
have
two
two hands,
participants
so
raised hands, and then
Brian?
I'm going to explain bundling. Brian?
Well, sorry.
Oh.
There was only one.
Oh.
I guess we can bundle both of them.
Ha-
I think actually let's just vote separately on them.
Okay.
Because they're not.
Okay, yeah, I think separately because they're totally different kind of things. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go, everyone's moving around. Nobody has their hands up, I guess. That was all answered.
Are there
Okay.
any questions on item A?
Any questions on item A? The no objection for 322 bar?
Actually, sorry,
322.
before we bundle, I just want to introduce myself as the committee chair and welcome all new members as well. It seems like we have a diverse and awesome crew, and I have to plug the Business Affairs and Licensing Committee, where we see new licenses, new license applications and renewals from various establishments in the city in addition, or in our district specifically. And we also spearhead discussion on economic development in the district, consumer protection issues, and we, particularly the board office, helps mediate community concerns about various businesses. So we definitely need more members. It's a really great crew of folks. So please consider our committee. Adam, do you have a question?
No, I was going to call a question on the first.
And Brian, do you have a question?
Yes, I was going to speak to something on the second resolution. I was going to make a motion for an amendment.
Okay, so why don't we go to the first one? Adam, you want to call the question? The first one, does somebody want to call? Second it?
I'll second.
Okay, first and second then. Okay, so please go to mark your digital ballot for the first resolution, which is no objection to a new on-premises license for 322 Bar LLC at 322 2nd Avenue. Do not hit submit. And again, if you are not using digital ballot, we'll ask your vote verbally in the second roll call. So let's take a little bit of time to have everyone vote on 4A, and then we'll go to 4B. And I know Brian will have a question, so we'll do a countdown to 20 seconds. We won't hear Letty sing, and we'll go to that.
I guess while folks put in their ballot, I have thanked Anton profusely throughout this whole process, but it sounds like we're finally at the finish line with this open restaurants resolution. And Anton has worked tirelessly. Our committee has collaborated with other committees. Our members have contributed to the resolution. So it was really like a long process, but I think it needed to be this long. There were a lot of stakeholders involved with it, but I just want to give Anton a final shout out for this effort. Really appreciate him stepping in because of my conflict of interest. And I would be happy to finally hand it back over to him for the last time talking about this committee, because I think I'll recuse myself at this point and come back for my report. But thank you, Anton, so much again.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Anton. I want to do two quick things before you come on. One is that for the new members, bundling is when we normally have a lot of liquor licenses that are brought before the committee. There could be 10, 15, 20. And since we pretty much, the committee does such amazing work on vetting out the licensee and what's happening, that normally we go along with what the committee has said. Almost very rarely has there ever been any question. There are some questions about details, but usually the committee's vote is supported. So we typically say, rather than vote on A, B, C, D, E, and 25 things, we just say bundle them, and we vote on all those at one shot. Saves us a lot of time. It's become sort of a tradition in CB6 for somebody randomly, usually me, to just yell out bundle from the back of the room. So that's what bundling is. And the other point I want to bring up is conflict of interest that you will all learn about as members of the board. Sometimes, and it even happened to me one time, where for some reason in your professional life, there is an issue where because you work for a city agency, you can't deal with something, or because your client is somehow involved in a project, or because you have a financial interest or other reasons, you can't vote on or run a committee meeting when that issue is being brought up. So you have to recuse yourself, which is what Claire's doing right now, because she is the extreme professional she is. So thank you, Claire. So now we'll go on. I know we have 2 questions. Anton, you're up, but I know Brian and Ann both have questions. So Brian, why don't we go to you first? And then Anton can answer your question on 4B.
Okay, so I have a motion for an amendment to the resolution. I'm going to copy and paste the text of it in the chat while reading it aloud. It is starting at the beginning of line 96 as the resolution was distributed to the board, starting with the word permit. The text I am proposing to amend is that permit is granted, comma, the local community board reviews the application to confirm the application adheres to the program standards, comma, or under which stipulations it may be granted. If there is a grammatical issue with that, let me know, but otherwise it replaces the text of and recommends whether it be granted or not with to confirm the application adheres to the program standards. That is my motion to amend.
Okay. Anton, I don't see you because the screen is so weird. Do you want to respond?
I'm not quite understanding what you want to put in. Let me go to the chat.
Okay. And then Ann and Rich will call on you next.
Well, I think we have a situation here where we have, for instance, for sidewalk applications, we approve the sidewalk application. I see the same thing for the street application. That is where a local entity, restaurant wants to put street chairs and umbrellas and things like that up. It is assumed that the applicant does conform to the stipulations that the regulations require. So I don't know if us confirming that, and I don't know if we have the expertise to confirm whether an applicant is conforming to the street or the restaurant stipulations that are in the rules. So I think we're looking as an advisory role over here. I'm assuming that the restaurant will submit the correct stipulated process, and that we are looking at it from the point of view of the community, and that whether we feel that, for instance, this will create noise or affect the quality of life of the local community or the local area. And this is what I think we've been doing for the applications for the sidewalk tables and chairs. So I don't know, it seems that it's a step up. It's a regulatory issue that should be addressed before it even reaches the community board for approval.
Well, the issue here is that I was making a motion for an amendment. So as a point of order, shouldn't we be putting it on the floor to see if there's a second. And then having this substantive debate about whether the amendment makes sense or not.
Okay, so we have 3 people who have raised hands. So it's, 4. Okay, so Anne, Rich, Ronnie, and B. Do any of you, I don't want to call on anybody who's going to second it until we have other questions done. So Anne, are you going to second it or do you have a question?
No, I am not going to second it. And I have a question both about this and just a comment to Claire, where you're saying this is the last we're hearing of this. Like, I just would not count on that. Like, as this goes through the regulatory process, we will be hearing about it more. But I'm trying to do a like getting to yes here thing about what Brian is suggesting, because I think what the amendment that you are trying to get at is that the community board has the opportunity to make the recommendation. You're not saying that the community board should review and figure out whether it suits whether it fits the requirements. You're saying we should have, like, the same way that for a liquor license, the liquor license, like, we may, the SLA may say it fits all the requirements, but we may say no, we have other community members have a problem with this. And I think that's what you're saying. And I think there's just a language thing here that gets to that. So it would be before an open restaurant permit is granted, the local community board has an opportunity to review the application and provide a recommendation and or stipulations, like whatever the language is we do with the SLA, with other liquor licenses, we want to echo that. Brian, is that what you're trying to get at here?
Well, I'll explain my thinking as succinctly as I can. Essentially, I agree with the entire idea of the process, that we get a chance to look at the applications and have an opportunity statutorily to respond within a certain time frame, to offer something along the lines of stipulations, the way we do with liquor permits. I just want to make sure that when this recommendation goes through, our recommendation is that this review will happen in a certain purview, and that we're not denying potential applications because so-and-so who is applying did not give money to Mark Thompson's campaign this past cycle, so Mark doesn't like him, so we're not recommending the thing. That is by example. But that is I don't think that that's a concern on CB6, but this is New York City and there's 58 other boards, so.
Well, let me answer that. The intent is the same as if we had an application for a liquor license. We don't go in and review how many liquor bottles they have, or whether the SLA feels this is, if the SLA feels this is appropriate to the rules and regulations and laws. We don't go and check that. What we check is what the licensee application would have affect the local community in terms of, let's say, noise, whether they are open till 4 a.m. in the morning, and items such as that. And the intent of this, be it further resolved, is the same thing.
That's correct, but we also have a certain purview in which we operate, in which we do not consider all and arbitrary factors in our recommendations. We actually stick to some very specific things. And when we have stipulations, they're an offering, but one of the things is that we can deny a resolution based on the owner not agreeing to certain stipulations that are our policies. But if those stipulations are harsher than the state law, then that application usually gets approved by the SLA anyway. I think that defining this in this resolution without leaving it sort of open-ended to say that all community boards, after all these strict standards have been recommended, also get to now basically deny an application on any basis whatsoever, really leaves, kind of something to be desired in the final product. And it's literally the only thing that's kind of a sticking point for me. This resolution has come a very long way, and it's a very good, very comprehensive resolution otherwise.
Remember, we're only making a recommendation. We make the same recommendation to the State Liquor Authority.
So, Mark, can I interrupt with a point of information? We're debating the amendment before someone has seconded. So we're really talking about the amendment as opposed to questions. So that's really not procedurally correct.
Okay, so what do
so you either someone
we should get a second and then do it? Okay.
Either someone seconds it.
Okay, so Rich has seconded. Okay, so then we can go back to the discussion of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, B. Adam, you're done? Okay. All right. So then it's been seconded. So we should vote on the amendment to the resolution. Oh, Rich, you've got your hand up. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with Brian that the resolution is a little too permissive to us in terms of what it might permit us to do by way of disallowing applications. In my opinion, which I believe is more liberal than that of the median of the board, we should not be involved in approving these applications at all. They should be purely administrative. Establishments that meet the formal criteria should be approved by someone at DOB or whatever. I understand that is not the sense of this committee, and so I'm willing to support some degree of review, but I do want to make sure that, and Brian said this too, my issue is not that CB6 will abuse the authority, but that other community boards will. So that's all I have to say. I would support the amendment if it came to the floor.
Okay, B, and then Sandy.
So I want to comment on what Ann said, and I also want to comment on the language. We talk about here whether it be granted or not, okay? And when we do the liquor license, it's really no objection, okay? So my whole comment is if we went back to the language that we've just done with licensing for the liquor authority, and you say, offer, no objection or objection, does that take that away? Because you're not really going to say be granted or not. We don't do that with liquor license.
If you're asking me as the last speaker, I would say that takes it away. I would support that if that came to the floor.
Okay, Sandy.
I was just going to mention the same thing, that I don't, what Brian has described verbally, I do not understand from the amendment. So it does need to be reworded in some way that it's, we're reviewing, and I don't know, Anton may be able to revise that to identify exactly what we do for liquor licenses, because it really is not clear what the purpose of this rewording is, the way it is written.
Well, the purpose is to have the community board make some comment regarding the quality of life issues of granting a particular restaurant to have an open restaurant situation that would take into effect, and let me back this up a second. I've been to a number of public meetings via Zoom where other community boards have made comments and the general public has made comments in terms of the open restaurant program in boroughs other than Manhattan. And there was a lot of pushback from the outer boroughs about how these open restaurant structures are being set up and the noise and other community problems that they brought in. And that each community board has its own different ways of looking at the applicant. depending on the community that they're in. And I just wanted to have some flexibility that we as a community board are able to look at the applicant and say whether this conforms, let's say, to the quality of life that we're trying to maintain within our community district, which may be different than Community Board 1, which I've seen their resolution, and other community boards around the city.
I mean, I think we need to understand that our community is different and that we obviously don't have the same concerns that the outer boroughs do.
Right.
So I'm, again, we don't want to say you can't put in your open restaurant because we don't want a restaurant in our neighborhood. That's not how our community is based. So I really think that's what this amendment is meant to address. I'm just not sure it's very clear the way it is worded currently. That's my only point.
Okay, let's go to Anne and then Rich.
Yeah, I think I have the same issue that Sandy does, that I don't disagree with the point that I think you're trying to achieve here, which is that we want to have some say in the specifics of this, right? Like that's what we're trying to say, but I don't like this language to me does not say that. What we're saying is, does the application confirm, that's not exactly right, but does it adhere to the program standards? And it's like, when you say that, to me, that would be like the agency standards, not our local standards. So I don't disagree with the intent. I just don't think this language expresses that intent.
Well, so one thing I was going to say was that I thought that part of our review for like the liquor licenses in the street cafes as they exist was to make sure that using local expertise, that we are looking at these applications which are just being forwarded along from the agencies, and kind of putting a detailed eye on it with the context that we also know things about these local areas.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
We can give recommendations.
No, exactly. But I'm just
So
saying this
colloquially,
language,
that's what I want this amendment to say.
right? And
is
I'm
for us to-
saying we need some different language to say that, right? Sandy, is that what you're? I mean, I think the sense of the board as the sense of the committee, I don't know, other people haven't spoken, is like, yeah, we should have like open restaurants. It's super complicated. And I think Anton did a great job at addressing the complexities as well as leaving some flexibility for, kind of continuing unintended consequences. And if we want to add some language, kind of reinforcing that the community board should, have the ability to have input onto whether any specific application conforms to, local things, which whatever we say, like whatever the SLA thing says. And I hear somebody typing, so I hope you're getting those words down, because I think that's like what I would do. And I don't know how we do this in the context of tonight's meeting, is have an amendment that says, we institute language for this resolved that incorporates a stronger role for the community board in reviewing each application.
I'm going to call on Larry because he's got his hand up, and I want to make one comment. Okay, Larry.
Just a very simple editing suggestion based upon what I'm looking at on the screen right now. If we go back to the crossed out language and insert after the word and may, and change recommends to recommend, so that is and may recommend whether it be granted or not. I think that creates flexibility that's been discussed. Thank you.
Okay, Rich? Rich, you're on mute.
Sorry, I would support what Lara just said as a way of making clear that we are not obligated to review them, and we don't necessarily have to institute a formal process, but we are entitled to make a recommendation should we choose to do so.
Anton, oh, good, perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that. That evidence.
Okay. Who's
The
typing
idea is
right now?
that we're not there to make an absolute determination that something should or shouldn't be done. It's a recommendation. And I want to confirm that it's a recommendation.
Jesus or Brendan, who's or Alex?
I'm typing right now. It's Brendan.
Oh, thanks, Brendan. Okay, they missed you typer.
I have the language of the proposed amendment, since technically speaking, that's the amendment that is still on the floor.
Okay, so then I think that we actually, Brian, the language you put forward is not what I think people have been talking about. Oh, Brian's got his hand up. Okay, Brian, go for it.
I would adopt what Larry said. So this would change it to the amendment to confirm the application adheres to program standards and may recommend whether it be granted or not, comma, and then that would be the entirety of the amendment. I'm happy to adopt that as part of my recommendation.
So we have two more hands up, and then we have a procedural issue. And now, Adam, your hand is up, but I don't know who else's hand is up.
I would second that if it's necessary.
Okay, and Brian, your hand's up still, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, you're down. Okay, Sandy's is up.
Can I call the question?
Yeah, the problem is we have it first and seconded. So I'm not sure if we have to actually vote down Brian's initial proposal.
Can't we vote on what's the amended?
Yes, we should first vote on the amendment here.
Right.
A simple raise of hands.
Brian can withdraw it though, right? Procedurally.
Oh.
Yeah, Brian correct me if I'm
Brian should
wrong.
withdraw the amendment and offer another amendment that should be seconded.
Thank you, B. Okay, so Brian, why don't you withdraw and recommend a new one?
I would like to withdraw my amendment and
recommend that new thing. Okay, great. And then I'm going to call on Adam and B. Adam.
Call the question.
Okay, and B.
I was going to second it, but you now have the question called. Okay, we're set.
Very good. Okay, first and second. Okay, so then this, thank you, people. And for new members, welcome to our world. But we get it right. And this is a joyful discussion here.
Point of order. The question that has been called is the question on whether the amendment should be made to the resolution.
Yes.
Or is the question on whether we should vote yes on
the question is on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the resolution as amended.
Okay, so there will be
a hands is sufficient for
Zoom hands.
Yes,
Zoom hands. Yeah.
Okay.
So raising your hand on Zoom.
B, you have a question also?
Sorry, didn't take it down.
Oh, okay, no problem. Hands down. Okay, so let's vote on the amendment to resolution 4B regarding proposed a permanent open restaurants program for New York City. And this is the amendment to the resolution. So it would be 4BA, I guess. And it's the language that you see now in front of you is what the
But this is a Zoom hands vote, correct?
Yeah, Brendan, you can do that, right?
Correct. So just raise your hand on Zoom, and if the majority of members present have their hands raised on Zoom, then the amendment passes.
Okay, we're at 26, and Brendan's going to tell us if it passes. 28, 29.
Yeah, it has already passed. The majority of members have already voted in favor of the amendment.
So, all right, so everyone can take their hands down. Lower your hand. Give everyone a couple seconds. 3, 2. Okay, everyone. Okay, and then everyone's down. Sandra, your hand's still. Oh, your hand's down. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay, so the amendment has passed, and now what we're going to do is we're going to actually vote on resolution 4B as amended. Whew. How's this for red tape? Rich Mintz. Oh, you're down. Okay, sorry. Thanks, Rich.
No, I was just going to ask, has the question been called as to whether?
No, that's what we're going to do next. So let's make sure that everybody, new members know. Okay, so do I see anybody who wants to make a motion on 4B as amended? Brandon Neuenhoven.
Call the question.
Okay, question's been called. Adam? Okay.
Second.
Okay, great. All right, so this is resolution 4B as amended regarding the proposed permanent open restaurants program in New York City. So mark your vote on the digital ballot for this resolution and do not hit submit. Those of you who are not using the digital ballot will ask for your vote verbally during the second roll call. And Adam Harkey raised his hand. Adam?
Sorry, I should be.
Oh, okay. You're down? Okay, good. So we'll give everyone a couple. Okay, good. A few more seconds to vote. Okay, I assume everyone's voted by now since you are all such tech whizzes and know how to hit the button and do it. Remember not to submit yet. So I think I'm going to ask Claire, can you come back to do the report or part of a report? How do you? Okay, welcome back. Hey, Claire, how are you?
Thank you. And thank you everyone for a fruitful discussion, continuation of the discussion. I want to waive my report because we're late, but we had a wonderful presentation from the New York Healthy Nail Salon Coalition this past month, which is something that I was working on for a while, and they finally came to present. They gave us some background. This was in the newsletter, but I just want to highlight it for folks. Some background on the nail salon industry, the issues that nail technicians are facing, and the coalition's efforts to push for the solutions for these issues through the Nail Salon Minimum Standards Council Act. In the interest of time, the legislation session was ending before we're here tonight. So we heard from them and we supported them as a committee. Thanks to everyone for asking really insightful questions. This isn't the last that we're going to hear from them. I think we'll pick it back up next after the summer and hopefully resolve to support their efforts and their support of the act. But if you missed out on it and you're interested, the YouTube is available, and we'll send around the minutes and put them on the website as well. But thank you to the representatives who came to talk to us this month as more people are getting their nails done when summer approaches. Tip your nail techs well. That was a big moral of the story. Other than that, that's all I have. I want to thank the committee for being so great this year, and I'm gonna wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Claire and Anton. That was great. What we just did was amazing, and what we're supposed to do. Get a lot of stuff done. So really, thank you to the committee and to you guys for doing this. It's wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to move it along quickly. Next, we have Land Use and Waterfront, Sandy McKee, Chair. Can you, Sandy, you want to give us a report? Hi.
I'll keep it short. Due to a scheduling error on my part, the new members are now going to be able to hear or have the opportunity to hear the planning report prepared by our planning fellow, Kieran Mackay-Malloy. And it has some excellent information on our district. It's well worth attending the meeting and hearing about this. It delves into the 197A plan and how much has been implemented from that and what we should be pushing for in terms of waterfront access and different aspects of our neighborhood. So please do plan to come to the next meeting and hear that. It's great data, and that's it. Thank you. And we are down 2 members at least. We need more people who are
Be ruthless, Sandy, be ruthless.
And land use, it's a great committee, lots of interest. Please do try and come to this. It's going to be really interesting. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy, for a quick one. Okay, next is the executive committee. Mark Thompson, I don't know who that person is, the first vice chair. I would actually, we have two resolutions here that we discussed earlier this evening. One of them was about establishing procedures for members and public attendance at CB6 meetings that use video conferencing like we're doing now. The next one was advocating for changes to the open meetings law that would empower community boards to self-determine whether to employ video conferencing at their meetings. I think you have all read these. We discussed them earlier this evening. They're pretty straightforward. It allows us to keep doing what we're going to do and do it better. So I would see Adam Hartke's hand raised. I think he's going to want to bundle. Adam.
Yeah, I'll bundle. How about that?
Thank you, Adam. Okay, and I see B. Disman's hand is up.
And I'm seconding it.
Okay, and I see Ronnie White's up too.
Ditto.
Okay, sounds good. You're thirding it. Okay, great. Okay, so then, so this has been first, second, and thirded. So we're going to bundle the two resolutions. So what you can do is you can mark your ballot, your digital ballot for both of these resolutions at the same time, but do not hit the submit button. And for those of you who are not using the digital ballot, if there is anybody, we'll ask for you to vote verbally during the second roll call, which will be in a few minutes. So go ahead and vote on both of these resolutions, which are 6A regarding procedures and 6B regarding changes. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to do that because it's 2 hits. All right, I kind of think everyone probably is done by now, I hope, because we're all speedy. So we're going to move on to the Youth and Education Committee. I'm going to call on Chair John Keller. John, you're up.
I'll mute myself. I'll be as brief as I can be. I am going to waive my report for I was preoccupied with a family emergency for the last week, so we're not focusing on the June meeting. But I want to welcome the new members, and I'd like to encourage all of you who have exhibited an interest in this committee to reach out to me through Kyle, I guess would be the orderly process. And I'd be really happy to talk about the committee and what we're trying to do on the committee. I think we've been fairly successful in many areas. And I also want to acknowledge that we're losing we're losing several members, but we lost 2 very valuable members over the years on this committee, and Ozzy Abadi and Claude Winfield. Claude was sort of the mentor for nearly all of them. This is my 6th year on the board, who joined the board. And I just want to really acknowledge all of the people who have moved on, clearly our friends, but specifically Ozzy and Claude for their contributions to this committee. And with that being said, I will waive my report and encourage new members, especially our student members, to show some, if they want to show interest in the committee, to do so. I would deeply appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it. Our next committee is Health and Human Services. Elby Barroso, our chair. Elby, you want to come on up?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. And welcome to our new members. And I also lost 2 valuable members, so I would encourage new members to join our committee. So in our last Health and Human Services Committee meeting, we had a presentation about the results on the health survey of Murray Hill Kips Bay conducted by the undergraduate students of Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education. So according to the survey, the prevalent health concerns at Murray Hill Kips Bay are first, binge drinking, second, high cholesterol, and third, obesity. However, these results are not comprehensive to reflect Community Board 6 since Stuyvesant Town and Turtle Bay were not included in the survey. We also had a presentation by the Department of Social Services, Aged, Blind, and Disabled Program on key health insurance options for seniors and people with disability. The facilitated enrollment for this program provides free health to New Yorkers who are age 65 and older or certified blind, or living with a disability. And enrolling in this program will help pay for Medicare costs. The information on how to enroll in this type of Medicaid is advertised in our newsletter. We are in the process of planning the 5th webinar series of healthy living in the community, which is scheduled in the fall. And the Committee on Health and Human Services will not hold a meeting in the summer. Our next committee meeting is in September. And have a great summer, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvie. Our next committee is Public Safety. Matt Roberts, Chair. Matt, you're up. I just want to say, come on down, but we can't do that because we don't come on down anymore. It's on Zoom.
Surely. All right. Thanks, Mark. Be very quick here tonight. I know it's 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Did want to remind everybody that we're not done for the summer with this committee. We still have some important business to take care of next week. We will be looking at security measures in homeless shelters. So I know that's a topic that's been brought to the board's attention from many different community members throughout the year. So we will be taking that up as best we can. We've invited DSS, and we'll hopefully get some testimony from the police department as well as what's going on as we try to uncover and unravel all of that. So if you're interested or have interests in any of that, please join us next Thursday, 6:30. Other than that, welcome to all the new members. We will certainly need some help on this committee as well. I know there's going to be a lot of people interested in the new members. So
be ruthless. Come on, recruit.
The way it is here. So hope the new members are enjoying their first meeting, and we'll go back to take us the rest of the way.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matt. Okay, next up is the Bylaws Committee. B. Disman, Chair. B.
Thanks,
come on down.
Mark.
Yeah.
Coming down? I'm not coming down. So unfortunately, due to health issues, I had to cancel our last meeting. We're going to look to reschedule. We have 4 articles left to go. And looking at the bylaws is tedious, dealing with phraseology, and for new members to know the issue that Brian mentioned and Mark about not being a head of a committee and treasurer is really in the bylaws. You can only hold one position. That puts you on the executive committee. As a matter of fact, it's something we were looking at and had a long discussion on. So these will be items that we'll be bringing to the board. But it also is unfortunate because Brian taking over as chair of transportation and Claude, who is assistant treasurer, has resigned from the board. So it really leaves people without expertise other than the office on the financials of the community board. So bylaws are very significant, and for the new members, you're welcome, but you'll hear more about it in the fall.
Great. Thank you, B. Okay. And our last committee is Transportation. Phil Napolitano is vice chair. Will be presenting tonight or reporting.
I don't think he's here.
Oh, okay. Is anyone here from Transportation that can give a report? We have no rezos, so.
Mark, we had no meeting.
No meet. Oh, well, that makes it even better. Okay.
We haven't had a meeting since April, so.
Okay, so we will.
We're working on it.
Okay, sounds good. Good report. We'll like that one, Brian. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now we are getting there, guys. So we'll go quick. It's now time for old or new business. Board members, if you have any old or new business to state, please raise your hand through Zoom. I cannot see. So Brendan, I don't know if you and Alex or Jesus can see.
I do not see any hands raised.
Okay,
We're
so
dealing
let's
with
assume
a little bit of a voting irregularity here, so give us a minute.
Okay, and I haven't voted yet because I can't do that on my screen or I'll probably blow it up or something. So I'll vote in about a minute if that's okay.
Sure.
I know you're missing mine. Okay. So since I can't see your raised hands and nobody else does, let's go into our second roll call. Matt, are you back technically to do the second roll call?
He had to leave.
Oh, he had to
he
leave.
has
Okay.
he has asked me to do it.
Okay, Jesus, can you please do the second roll call?
Okay, while I do that, actually, Majed, there was some weird stuff going on with your ballots. You have 3 of them here. So weird. Brendan, delete all of his ballots and he will submit his ballot again. Letty, you had 1 ballot, but you submitted it under yours and another member's name. So we're going to delete Letty's as well.
Letty, are you from Chicago?
We're going to delete
I'm
Letty.
I'm from all over. I was having a problem. I'm doing it from my iPhone, so I can do a verbal.
Okay, sure. We'll do Brendan will do a verbal, but let me I'll call the roll call.
I'm going to start voting now.
Yes. All right. As is tradition, we're going to start from the bottom of the list alphabetically. Ronnie White.
Present. Have a wonderful summer, everyone.
Thank you. Maura Wong.
Present.
Thank you. Matthew Weintraub.
Here.
Thank you. And by the way, you new folks, if I try to pronounce everyone's name just as they would like. If I mispronounce it in even the slightest way, let me know and I'll try and learn it properly. Brian Van Nieuwenhoven.
Present.
Thank you. Gabriel Terzo.
Present.
Thank you. Mark Thompson.
I'd like to pronounce my name differently, but I'm present.
All right. Merrick Thompson, then. There we go.
Sounds good. All
right. Susan Steinberg.
Present.
Thank you. Hannah Singleman.
Present.
Thank you. All right, Lady Simon.
Okay, do you want to take my vote?
Brendan, are you ready to take the vote?
Yep, I'm ready to take the vote.
It's in favor on all of the items.
Okay, I will note that and submit the ballot on your behalf.
Thank you very much, my dear. And
No problem.
everybody have a wonderful summer and welcome to the new members. Look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you. Next on the list is Aisha Siddiqui.
Present. It's Aisha.
Aisha.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Sandro is not able to be here today. Seema Shah.
Present. Happy summer, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Seema. Lou Sapersky is not able to be here tonight. Ann Seligman.
Still here.
Thank you. Larry Shire.
Present.
Thank you. Matt Roberts.
Present.
Thank you. Reshma Patel.
Present.
Thank you. Stephen O.
Present.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Who dat?
Kevin O'Keefe.
I'm present.
Thank you. Raj Nair.
Present.
Thank you. Phil Napolitano is not able to be here tonight. Rich Mintz.
Present.
Thank you. Sandy McKee.
Present.
Thank you. Kavitha Matthew.
Present.
Thank you. Anton Malner. Anton Malner. Anton still here?
I'm here.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Good, good. Jason Littman is not able to be here. Sandra Leftoff.
Yeah.
Thank you. Abigail Kruzmark.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nadim Kalani is not able to be here tonight. John Keller.
Present.
Thank you. Paige Judge.
Present. Happy summer.
Thank you. Sadie Howard.
Present.
Thank you. Molly Hollister was not able to be here tonight. Adam Hartkey.
Here, go Rams.
Thank you. Eric Goldberg.
Present.
Thank you. Jason Fromowitz.
Present, and you got the pronunciation perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeannie D'Onofrio was not able to be here tonight. B. Disman.
Present.
Thank you. Michael Devereaux.
Present.
Thank you. Stuart Desser.
Present.
Thank you. Jonathan Derico or Derico?
Present. Derico, thank you.
Derico, all right, thank you. Jim Collins.
He's waving. He's present.
All right, let the record show Jim Collins is present for the second roll call. Claire Brennan.
Present.
Thank you. Matt Bondi is not here right now. Elvie Barroso.
Present.
Thank you. Marty Barrett is excused tonight. Neil Barkley.
Present.
Okay, we need your ballot, Neil.
Oh, it should have been submitted. 1 second.
Try again. Or if you can't, Brendan can do a verbal one. Kyla Fayed is.
It says thank you for submitting the form. Let me try again.
Majed Abdul Samad.
Present.
Thank you. So we're still waiting on Neil. And let me do one last check of ballots that are outstanding. Just you, Neil.
Yep, I'm sorry. It said it went through.
That's bizarre. Submit it again and then.
Yep, I'm doing it right now.
Just a few more moments, folks.
Okay, it should be through.
Okay, so now we have 2 ballots for Kyle, who is not here. Why don't we just take the ballot verbally? So.
Yep. So I'm going to submit the ballot on your behalf, Neil. What are your votes on various resolutions?
They were in favor.
Okay, just give me a moment. Okay.
All right, now we've got all ballots that we are expecting. Okay, I guess what you've all been waiting for, the final vote counts. For Parks Resolution 2A, 39 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, and 1 not entitled. The resolution passes. Housing and Homelessness, Resolution 3A, with 40 in favor, no opposed, 1 abstention, no not entitled. The resolution passes. Housing and Homelessness 3B, with 41 in favor, it is unanimous. The resolution passes. For the Licensing Committee, Resolution 4A, 37 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 abstention, 0 not entitled. The resolution passes. Licensing Committee 4B, 36 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 abstentions, 1 not entitled. Resolution passes. Executive Committee Resolution 6A, 39 in favor, no opposed, no abstentions, not entitled. The resolution passes. Executive Committee Resolution 6B, 39 in favor, no opposed, no abstentions, no not entitled. The resolution passes. So all resolutions pass tonight.
Good job, voters. Great. Okay. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Okay. Before we adjourn, I just have 3 really quick comments. I want to apologize for not introducing Jimmy Nayar, who is there with Raj this evening. possibly in his cage or sleeping. Hope he's feeling better. Okay. He'll introduce Jimmy to us next meeting. I would also like all of us to just give a round of applause to the former members of the board, those who have left for their service of many, many years. For the new members who didn't get to know them, we had the most amazing people that have left us. Great, smart people, great mentors, did such amazing work. So I want to give them all a round of applause, even though they're not here, but maybe they'll hear us from somewhere else. So thanks to all of them for being such great board members for so long and such great friends. And lastly, I'd just like to wish everyone a happy summer. So now, if I hear no objections, which I will plug my ears, I would like to adjourn the meeting. So I don't hear anything. I don't see nothing. So the meeting is adjourned at 9:27.